Yeah. I've been teaching for a long time. I went through this really rough period, though, where I was trying to have difficult conversations in the classroom, but I wasn't really equipped as an educator on how to do that. And so part of what happened is that I went through a small series of getting banned from certain high schools. Like one time, I was at a religiously diverse school, and I just saw the Jesus Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, the Passion of the Christ, and not only is it riddled with historic inaccuracies and actually, like 2,000 years of anti-Semitism, but it also, it's just a bad movie. But anyway, look, the point is that, I was very angry when I saw that film, and then wrote a pretty vitriolic response for Mel Gibson. And, I went into this high school probably 4 or 5 days after I wrote this poem, and, they're like, yeah, do whatever you want. I'm like, well, is there, any issue with language or anything like that? They're like, no, just do whatever. And, yeah, I was banned from that school. That sucked. Yeah, the poem was not, well, I love the poem actually, but I'm not going to do it this evening. And then I went into another school, no, because it's not appropriate. No, seriously, I'm not going to do it, but thank you. But then I went to this other school, and then, I try to have a really, rich conversation about race. And of course, it's very hard for white people to talk about race, because we don't want to talk about it, because then we get to keep everything. And so, thank you. That's real. As you see, okay, I'm offending people as we speak. Anyway, so what I want to do is basically, I'm going to do 2 poems that reflect a shift for me as an educator. The first is basically a sort of dramatic retelling of that day where I try to have the conversation about race. And then the second poem will be a way for me to actually getting white kids to talk about their identity. So the first is the way not to do it, I guess. And then the second is something else. So this is basically, we were in the midst of this conversation, and it went something like this. This is a poem called From the Mouths of Babes, and it starts with a quote from when Minister Farrakhan was on Phil Donahue. He said, it's a deep guilt thing white folks suffer, afraid we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us. At the end of a long day, I like to go home and kill white people. On paper. It's one of my favorite things hip-hop taught me. Actual rage enacted metaphorically. I tell students at a school straddling the northern border of Chicago, who gets the kind of education Brown versus Board of Education prophesied 50 years ago. The kind where white kids take AP classes, Latinos take ESL classes, and black boys are BD to the bone. Their 5th senile substitute this week can't get them to read Robert Frost because they way too cool. An aging hippie turned teacher raises the question, hi, thank you. Do you mean all white people? Because, well, my family is Irish Catholic, and, and when we arrived here, we were considered the blacks of America, and I want to fill in the blanks with every kike, Dago, Polak, such and such, and ask this Mick on the verge of tears about all the batons wielded in her countrymen's hands. Before I do, a hand from the back row, attached to a young woman in a fuzzy pink jogging suit, skin like heavily creamed coffee, says, well, I'm Haitian, And when cops pull me over, all they see is black. So that's the way not to necessarily have that conversation. Thank you. Thank you.